Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
We're going for a drive.
'20 Porsche Macan
Turbo with launch control. Oh, yes.
Horsepower dirt.
434 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque from a 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6.
Okay, throw into manual mode for me. Do a couple revs. I want to hear some upshifts. Okay, admittedly, this sounds a lot better from outside or when you have your windows down, but when you upshift, it's like a gah!
Yeah, it's way better from the outside. It's got that kind of like chainsaw thing that the ZFs have.
Yeah, kind of like the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, which I still think that one was better, but this is like next level.
Yeah, so this is a 7-speed PDK and it does shift like lightning.
Man, we had the Taycan for a while, but like getting back one of these kind of nice.
Yeah, like the mechanical stuff is really nice, and being able to shift manually, which I have to explain isn't the best kind of thing because I have it in manual mode. However, I'm in 4th gear right now. I'm gonna floor it, kick down pedal, and it automatically goes to 2nd and it upshifts automatically even though I'm in manual mode.
Okay, what if you floor it with traction all the way off?
Still downshifts. Let's see if it'll upshift. Yes, it's still upshifts.
Okay, so you can't get rid of that.
No, so that's the part that sucks about the manual mode of the shifting, because the paddles are so good to use, but there's kind of no point of using them if the thing's just gonna automatically upshift.
Yeah, I feel like Porsche neuters their SUVs, and you can tell because when you look at the shifter right away, it's up for up, down for down, where every other Porsche is the opposite, the correct way.
However, I really like having this now old school type shifter because it's not that Braun Shaver thing.
Okay, and now back to the launch control real quick. It did sound amazing.
Yeah, it did, and it'll do that launch in 4.3 seconds to 100 kilometers per hour.
And just for the record, I don't fake it, I don't smack my head back, I just take it with a limp neck. Like, I can flex, I just don't.
And if you guys enjoy launch control at the beginning of every single video, make sure you subscribe.
Hit the bell, maybe, if you like.
Yeah. So since this is a Porsche Macan Turbo, let's downshift into Cliche Corner and see how well it handles.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess really good.
Yeah, obviously really good. So there's pretty much no body roll. There is a little bit because this is quite tall and we don't have the optional air suspension, but I mean, it still handles like a Porsche.
So when we first reviewed the previous gen Macan GTS, we noticed that it handled like a car. It was the craziest handling SUV ever. And we also drove the current gen Macan S, and more recently the AMG GLC63S, which is pretty much a competitor for this.
Yeah, so it's hard to remember both of the other Macans, but I can vividly remember the GLC63S, and that handled incredibly well.
So this turbo compared to the GLC63S, which one do you think you could go faster through Cliche Corner in?
I think it would be in this one, but I would have to manhandle my way and have more fun in the GLC63S.
To keep up, because that thing just wants to drift where this feels more planted.
As long as you have the traction control off in that one, otherwise you just understeer because it cuts the power nonstop. In this one, I'm just in regular mode. I don't even have to have the traction off or in sport, and it just rips through Cliche.
Yeah, this thing is like very, very fast for an SUV.
And again, because it's an SUV, it is all-wheel drive and it is rear bias, and you do feel it, but it's like, it's one of the best handling SUVs. It, again, kind of feels like a car, but you mentioned this earlier, is that it's a little bit taller than the GLC63S.
Yeah, the GLC63S felt like an undercover car as an SUV, but this feels like a straight up SUV until you drive it.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing that you get in Porsches is the amazing driving position. So I do feel like I'm cocooned in here. I'm very low to the ground, but I think I'm lower to the ground in the GLC63. However, my driving position is still really good and really low in this. And the other thing that you get with Porsches is amazing steering. Like, I love the steering wheel, the feel and everything about it.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect.
It's got the right amount of weight. The drive modes are awesome. We do have the drive mode shifter on the steering wheel as well.
And you do have the sport response button, but the whole thing just feels so similar to a regular 911 or any Porsche car. I think that's what makes it so fantastic. It
really does. And with this one, we also have the sport exhaust, which is why it sounds so good. So let's have a listen right now.
Yeah, and when you let off in Sport and Sport Plus, you do get those backfires, which is nice because a lot of Porsches don't do that in Sport Plus. It's honestly one of the better sounding Porsches, I think, overall. Because even that like Turbo S911 kind of sucked. And
yeah.
And the Taycan turbos, they don't even make any noise.
Well, and that with the Cayenne Turbo, I think that V8 sounds like kind of garbage, to be honest. This one sounds a lot better.
Yes, the sound engineers nailed it.
And right in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that this is downsized from the previous year. However, there's more horsepower. So not only did they decrease the displacement, they just added more power, which is actually pretty impressive for them to do that.
Yeah, and everything about the whole drivetrain of this is spectacular. Like, hey, you're in auto right now, floor it.
That's so fast.
It drops 2 gears like that, and then the tack just flies across and it just goes. It's like the most satisfying thing flooring it in one of these Porsches.
It really is. It's such a satisfying experience to drive this car. Like, you just floor it all day. Like, I love this. There's so much turbo boost. And before I let you drive, let's talk suspension. It is so comfortable to drive, even in the stiffest mode, because we do have 4 modes of adjustment.
Yeah, they definitely know how to tune that up properly.
They really do. All right, let's get you to do some launch control.
Have a limp neck.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, I love how you don't have to do anything silly to get into launch control on Porsches.
No, it just does it.
Braking gas, it's so sick. And when you're at a light, if you go into launch control, it'll just ping off the thing. It's like the coolest rev because this doesn't let you rev it all the way out when you're in drive or park or neutral or whatever.
Yeah, the best way to get the most RPMs when you're idling or when you're parked is by doing launch control, then letting off.
When you're yelling at people, it's like that gif of like car guys yelling at each other across the intersection.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just 2 dogs barking. Stiff neck launch.
Okay.
It's not as fun that way.
Yeah, my veins are just popping.
So being behind the driver's seat, the first thing I notice is we have the good old...
in the driver's
Well, I'm not behind it. So being in the driver's seat, the first thing I noticed is we have that awesome last-gen Porsche tack.
Yes, it's the best, and the whole gauge cluster, because you can see it all.
Yeah, we don't have digital screens behind the wheels. It's perfect, just one digital screen on the right. And the analog tack with the orange needle, the only thing that sucks is that the whole red line isn't all orange. I like to have like a good differentiator when to shift.
But like I said earlier, you don't need to
Doesn't
shift,
matter,
which is
yeah.
why it's like that. Yeah.
And the next thing that caught me off guard was the fact that we have like 1,000 buttons.
Yeah, it's previous gen stuff, but I'm gonna say sweet spot stuff.
Okay, we got out of the Taycan Turbo and the 911 Turbo recently, and they had a ton less buttons. I don't mind this. It's like a little bit of shock. You get used to it and you can touch everything. It's better.
I love this. Like getting in, it's a little bit of button shock, but sitting and driving, it's amazing.
It definitely doesn't look as elegant though.
No, you're definitely right. This is definitely a downgrade if you're trying to impress people with just the look.
And then moving on to this infotainment real quick, it is the last gen style, not the new one like the Taycan. And it is still widescreen, but what sucks is that when you throw in your Apple CarPlay, it does have like the tiny little baby icons. Like I swear, an NBA player who could just palm a basketball would have no way to touch the Apple CarPlay icons.
Well, they probably have like an assistant in the passenger seat to just do things like that for
They
them.
have to use Siri the whole time.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, what about when you plug in Android Auto?
I don't know. Yeah. Woo! Widgets, here we go. And like I always complain, there is no way to program your shortcut button to toggle through your satellite radio favorites.
But can it rewind?
Yeah, I can rewind, but have fun like scrolling through a million channels. And now on to the 360 camera and reverse camera. It's okay, but compared to like every Hyundai, Porsche quality is really not that good for reverse cameras, and even in the newest Taycan.
Yeah, so the actual video quality is good, but the warping is what makes it bad.
Yeah, it just warps so much, you don't know how far things are. Like, you were reversing this car, you thought you were right next to something, and you were like a mile away.
Yeah, it was actually the next lane over.
It's a lot of trickery. I think they can do better. Steal someone away from Hyundai. they got that stuff dialed.
Yeah. But since this is kind of the mid-generation, we do still have hard buttons for everything, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. You got a tuning knob, volume knob, like...
Hey Yuri, watch this.
Oh my
what am
God!
I doing?
Did you just change the vent with your hands?
Crazy.
It's the best.
And moving on to the general interior, we do have the optional carbon fiber package. However, this one kind of looks like a race flag pattern.
Yeah, checkered flag carbon fiber.
So it's the way that they oriented the material. I'm just not used to seeing it like this, and it's kind of different.
Yeah, it almost even looks like it's metallic carbon fiber. I don't know, it's weird, but it is cool.
Yeah, I like it.
But I am sick of carbon fiber, but whatever, doesn't matter.
And the seats are very well bolstered, a little bit too bolstered for someone of my stature.
Yeah, and I love them. I'm like so comfortable in here. This is fantastic. I would love it for daily driving.
And we do have adjustable bolsters, so even in the most open setting, they're still a little tight on me. And backseat room is, man, not the best. Box test! Bet you didn't expect that one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is our new box test member, Jeff M. How's it going? 8, 9, and 10. Get your own box at patreon.com/TheStraightPipes.
And for $340, you can block out peasants. Yeah, it costs you that much for that.
And then we do have cup holders down here. There are different levels, so if you have a smaller cup, it can stick up a little higher. And let's do the visor test.
All right.
You know, I've done so many Porsches, I still can't even remember if this passes.
Same here.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think most of them fail, to be honest.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, everything else is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then it also says that we have lane keep on this vehicle.
Yeah, lane keep assist. However, it's just the audible thing where if you go to your lane, it's not the lane centering stuff.
Yeah, not the good stuff that I liked in the Taycan.
Yes, but we do still have adaptive cruise, which is nice.
Now we should talk about the looks, but first I want to give a couple mean upshifts.
It's a lot smoother that time.
I couldn't hear it because the windows were up.
Yeah.
Anyways, it sounds great. I would only drive this with the windows down, but we're filming right now, so microphone wind, you know.
So on to the looks. You guys have already watched our Macan S video, so we're not going to focus too much on the overall looks, but the changes for the turbo.
For once, we don't have the black body panel at the very bottom of the doors. This one is color matched.
Yes, the carmine red on black accents does look fantastic with the black sport exhaust as well.
And then moving on to the front end, we've got a really big, weird looking grille, but I kind of like it.
It's that turbo thing where they kind of square off the grills and make them really big, and you can really see the intercoolers through there.
Yeah, I think the intercoolers through there, that's like the least fake vent in the world, but then we also have the most fake vents right below it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Porsche doesn't really do fake vents, but I guess for optimum airflow, they probably just had to put it there for some reason.
Yeah, it's like we can't just make it normal black, it'll look weird. Anyways, whatever. And then the worst part is we've got the new Ontario license plate at the front that got discontinued.
Yes, this is not a thing, everyone, if you're watching from everywhere around the world.
I've never seen such a goof.
Yeah.
And it's like a place to grow, a place to glow, am I right? Because you can't see it when the light flashes on it.
This is not a thing, this was a temporary thing, it's gone now. So in case you're very confused, everyone in Ontario gets it, but rest of the world, it's gone.
I'll never say anything bad about Ontario license plates again.
No, except get rid of the front plate still.
Which they won't.
Nah.
What do you think of the wheels on this bad boy?
Love them. 21-inch RS Spider wheels, they are perfect for this car.
It does look pretty good, but the stance feels like it's a little high. But what is the Continental recommended tire for the Macan Turbo?
The Conti Sport Contact 5P.
And then moving on to the back end, we do have a cool black spoiler up there, which matches all the black accents on the car. And then we've got Porsche written out in like 3D letters with really cool taillights.
And matching all that are those black sport exhausts, and they are very real.
And they're very thick for some reason.
Yeah, like very thick walled.
Thickest in class. And before we get to the price, a little cliche corner, sand.
Dude, this is unreal, eh? A little bit of oversteer from this rear biased all-wheel drive.
This doesn't feel like an SUV. This feels better than I think all the other SUVs we've driven through here.
I just had more fun in the GLC63S because I had to manhandle it.
Yeah, because you had more chance of sliding. This is like, no, I'll get you through. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, this would definitely be faster.
So overall, looks-wise, this Porsche Macan Turbo or the GLC63S?
The GLC63S just looks better to me.
Same, but there's like nothing bad about the looks of this. And if anything, it's like one of the better looking Porsche SUVs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even better than the new Cayenne Coupe.
Yes, absolutely. You know how I feel about coupes.
I like the new Cayenne Coupe, but like the spoiler sticking up looks so weird, but like, we'll see.
It's the best of the coupes.
So with all that out of the way, we definitely think everything in here is the sweet spot of Porsche, of the new and old. Let's get to the price.
It starts at $94,200.
Canadian.
With a couple options checked off, that gets us to $117,760.
So that's definitely a lot of money, but I feel like you're getting a lot of SUV and you're getting like a really cool brand name.
Yeah, and this would be more than a comparable Mercedes GLC63S, but you're getting a Porsche like you said.
Okay, so which one would you take, GLC63S or this? And I think I would go GLC63S because it's more aggressive and it's got all the track-based stuff. It just seems like a little bit more fun.
I would for sure as well, and I'd probably even consider an Alfa Romeo Stelvio because of that.
Yeah, I would go Stelvio Quadrifoglio over pretty much everything. But like, this is awesome, and I think this is one step below the Stelvio Quadrifoglio exhaust, and the GLC63S is a half step below the Stelvio for exhaust.
I do agree with you, but the thing that I do have to stress about Porsches that you probably don't get in Alphas is the build quality. Sitting in here just feels like quality. Shutting the doors, just sitting in here looking at everything, it just screams build quality.
It does, but I mean, I kind of like those carbon fiber looking buckets in the Stelvio.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I just think for the both of us, we want something a little bit more aggressive. But if we weren't those kind of people, this is like the perfect SUV for a lot of people.
Pretty much. So let us know where you guys would rank this in the SUVs in this class.
And take a guess at next week's video.
Ooh, I wonder what that is.
And if we got the order wrong, I'm sorry.
Tuesday or Friday.
We do this in advance.
Yeah.